Hi, welcome to Life Expressions. I'm your host, Charie Ilon. Today, I'm going to talk to an inspiring person. She is an immigrant and she came all over from Brazil with her family to Vancouver as an international student. Now she's very active with Vision2 Reality Foundation and she's happy with her work at Surrey School Board. Please welcome to the show, Erica Nogueira. Hi, Erica. Welcome to Life
Hi.
Expressions. How are
Hi, thank you
you?
so much for the invitation. I'm a fan. I love your podcast. So many
Wow.
wonderful people. I feel very privileged to be uh, interviewed by you.
Wow. Thank you, Erica. So kind of you to say, but it is my privilege to interview you and to have you here on Life Expressions. So tell me, when and how did you decide to move to Vancouver?
Well, I've always wanted to live abroad. When I was 18, I lived in the US. I was a Portuguese teacher at OU in Oklahoma, and I really loved the experience. When I got back to Brazil, I was so depressed. I wanted to live in the United States, but then there was no way I could stay there. I didn't want to stay as an illegal person, so I went back to my country, and then ever since I wanted to leave. And when I met my second husband, he had a daughter. I had a daughter with another person. And I thought, oh my God, I'm never going to do it. But it turned out that it was also his dream to live abroad. So we made it happen after COVID. We were able to come. And yeah, I'm living my dream. For me, the reward is being here. I really love Canada, and I'm very happy with my life.
Wow, that's great to know. You said you're living your dream with
Yes.
your husband and with your daughter, and you're happily living here in Canada. Why do you say that?
Yes, because it was very hard for me living my city. I am from Rio de Janeiro, and it's very difficult living there. Brazil is very in a difficult situation right now, politically speaking, economically speaking. So I didn't feel safe in my city. There were shootings and gangs and traffic, drug traffic. So I was very happy to be able to live in a country where I feel safe. That for me was like my number one priority. And that's why I feel so happy here. I feel safe, and I feel like I have the basic things that I didn't have in my own country.
Yeah, that's good to know. Yes. I think most of us immigrants like you would appreciate living in a country like Canada, which is safe and allows us to thrive further. But for you, when you first arrived, what were the challenges that you have experienced?
Yes, I when I arrived, I was so happy about being here that I knew I was going to study for 2 years, but I never thought it would be that hard. Staying away from your family and having to adapt to a new culture. I never thought it would be that hard because I mean, it was my dream. So I didn't predict the difficulties.
Yeah.
So I had to study for 2 years, and it was difficult because I couldn't work full time. Um, Life was ended up being more expensive than I had predicted, so that was hard too. My husband left a daughter in Brazil, so that was very hard on my family. You know, the fact that we were missing her. And yeah, things ended up being harder than we expected.
Yeah.
But yes, I survived the 2 first years. That's what people say. After the 2 first years, you can feel better. It's never worse. So yes, I
Yes.
was always lingering to this hope. It cannot be worse.
Yes, and you have survived the first 2 years. Now you're working. How did you find that work? And how did you become? Okay, let's first talk about Vision to Reality Foundation. You're very active with V2RF. How did you find Vision to Reality Foundation?
So Vision2 Reality Foundation was like a turning point in my life, because I was in my beginning my second year at Douglas, taking my second year in the marketing program, and I was volunteering at Douglas, and that's when I met Winnie. Winnie is the founder of Vision2 Reality, and she invited me to join the community, and I did, and I started participating, and I really found a lot of value in it, because we get to interact with other immigrants, we get to know new people and do a lot of networking. And I thought that I could contribute to the foundation with my marketing skills, and Winnie invited me to become part of the marketing team, and then I became a lead, and then this year I became the manager of marketing, and there I was able to help the foundation grow with my skills, and also it helped me a lot, because I did a lot of networking. I met a lot of interesting people, and I made friends, and that's why I got so engaged, because not only was I working, but I was also meeting people. And when you move to a new country, you have to make new roots. It's like you're transplanting yourself, from taking all of your roots off a soil and planting in another place. So that's how I feel about living here. And Vision2 Reality and everyone that I met there made it possible for me to replant my roots in a firm soil, meeting wonderful people.
Wow, that's awesome. It is indeed helpful to really network. And I like the way you said it, that you planted new roots and
Yes.
you have not just built a network, but you have also built credibility for yourself. Imagine you have helped V2RF grow so much and so fast in a span of a year. And kudos to you and Winnie and the rest of the team at V2RF.
Yes. V2RF is really wonderful for everyone that I have met that was part or still part of it. It's really life-changing and really enriching for you to participate.
Yes. And how about you finding a job at Surrey School Board? How did you do it? Like after 2 years, yes, you already have that.
Yes. The hardest thing about the 2 years was not being able to work full time. So as soon as I got here, Surrey School Board was my first job, actually,
Mhm.
because I joined. I got in my first year, like after 3 months I was here, and I got in with a part-time position as a supervision aide. Supervision aide is a person that in the school takes care of the kids during recess, lunchtime recess. So it was just 1 hour of work every day. And then, of course, it was not enough to pay my bills at that time. I had to take some breaks during these 2 years that I could not work full time, to work more hours in other places, but I never resigned. So I was still part of the school board. And then after these 2 years, I told the HR, listen, I need more hours. Otherwise, I will need to resign, because I need to find a full-time job now. And then they invited me to apply for the clerical positions, and I did a lot of tests, and I got interviewed, and then I got in. And I'm very happy that I never left,
Yeah.
because since I arrived here, it was my dream to be part of either city, the city of Surrey, or any other city in BC, or a school board. I've worked all my life in education, and I didn't want to leave this industry.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my goal here, stay in education. So yeah, I was lucky, but also very, I think I was persistent and also wise not to have left, and ended up in another job that was not really my focus. So I'm glad I kept my focus, and things worked out for the
Yeah.
best.
That's great. And you really had that grit to stay in the place that you wanted to work in. And good for you. Your patience has paid off, right? And now you're working full time for Surrey School Board. And assume that you still have a lot of room or opportunity for growth in your workplace.
Yes, and that's although I'm very happy with the position I am in, yes, I'm always expecting to grow, and I'm very, very happy that I have space to grow there.
Yeah.
And I'm just enjoying my full time right now because after 2 years of school, you just want to, live a normal life,
Yes.
work from 9 to 6, and just have a stable life with a steady paycheck.
Yeah.
That's all I want right now. But of course, it makes me very happy to know that I can grow and I can use my skills to the benefit of the city and
That's
the
yeah.
benefit of the school board.
That's great. How about your husband and your daughter? Are they settled in well as well?
Yes, it was hard for everyone. Like I said, my husband left his daughter. She's 10 in Brazil, and it was. But when we got here, we knew that he was going to be the main breadwinner because he was in technology. He's a cybersecurity specialist, and he came after 3 months. He found a job, thank God, and he was able to support our family. And he's very happy with his job. His job is supporting now our permanent residents. My daughter arrived here when she was 15. It was not very easy for her
Yeah.
because that age is complicated, being a teenage and cultural differences and everything. She already spoke English, so that was good for her. But I mean, the fact that we're culturally very different
Yeah.
and that she's a teenager in a, delicate years of her life. The first year was not easy at all for her,
Yeah.
but then she adapted and now she can't imagine herself living in Brazil again. Thank
Wow.
God. I didn't want anyone to feel like, oh, we have to go back because I don't know what I would do because I've never had that thought, I was very determined to stay because yeah. So I cannot imagine how my life would have been if they hadn't adapted.
Yeah, that's great that it has worked out really well for you. And Erica, now that you have settled, now that you're happy with what you're doing and aiming for more achievements in the next few years or so, what are the 3 tips, could you say, and can you share with new immigrants and international students like you?
Yes. So the first tip that I have is when we come here as a student, we we most of us, of course, you are investing everything, all your savings. I mean, I'm talking about everything you have saved in your life. So most of the students that I see that are here, that are my age, that are not very young, that are not sponsored by their parents. I'm talking about older demographics, people with families and sometimes without a kid, but in their late 30s, they usually have saved and they are using all their savings to fulfill this dream. So my first advice is don't try to make your life here um, the same standard of living you had in your own country right away. Because when we arrived here, we thought we were millionaires. We had a lot of money, but life gets crazy and things happen. It's like when you were remodeling your house, you
Yeah.
never you expect, like, you design a budget and it's always more than that, right? So it's the same thing here. You think you're going to spend X, but you end up spending 10X.
Yeah.
So my first advice is, like, don't think you can have the same lifestyle you had. Be humble. You start, slowly. Think that it's just an adjustment. You need to save your money for a rainy day, and you need to be prepared because your expenses are never going to be the same you expected when you were back in your own country. And my second advice is uh, be patient and imagine that you have to just, like, be resilient and know that you are going to spend 1 year or 2 years, depending on your study program. And you have to be focused on that. So don't think you have to go out, you have to enjoy things now. Just save it, because you are going to have time to enjoy later. Just be focused and dedicate all your efforts to studying. I had friends that came here and they wanted to keep going to concerts or traveling or getting to know, other provinces, and they were not focused on their studies. So then, and they ended up frustrated because they couldn't get their marks right, or they couldn't. You can never do everything well. If you try to do 10 things, it's better to focus on one. And I think that for the 1 or 2 years that you're studying, your focus should be keep your budget low, study, and rest, because you need to take breaths, right? You cannot go 2 years without any break.
Yeah.
So keep your, keep it simple so that you can survive.
Yeah.
And my third advice is meet as many people as you can, do as much volunteering as you can. Depending on the culture, it's very hard to adapt to volunteering right away because you want to make money, right? But remember that these years you were just planting, be able to harvest later. So I'd say study, investing in your studies, investing in your education, and investing in your networking is the wise thing to do, so that later you can have friends and have planted the roots that I was referring to earlier.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think these are basic advice that I did. What I did out of all these advice that I'm giving is I did a lot of networking. I did a lot of volunteering. There were times that I was volunteering in 4 different places at the same time. But what I didn't do is I didn't right away keep like a simple lifestyle. I try to match my lifestyle I had in my back in my country right away, and I think I could have saved more money, than I did, and not have wasted so much. But yes, all the things we do right or wrong, they're all teaching us.
Yeah, that's wonderful advice. Very wise and very relevant. I agree that you actually reap what you sow, right? Because when you plant hard work, you'll reap great results. No pain, no gain. And for you,
Exactly.
you have been very patient, you have been tenacious, you have been networking and volunteering, and that those efforts have really paid off.
For sure, for sure.
Yes.
And I think if you keep a mindset that I once told a friend, she was like, she was studying for her first year, and then she said, oh no, Saturday and Sunday I don't do anything. And I was like, yeah, but that was back then. Here it's going to be different. You're going to be studying. There's no Saturday or Sunday. Maybe you need to take a break on a Friday because you are too tired from the week, and then you need to study on Saturday and Sunday. Don't think you have a weekend. Think you have like think of a marathon.
Yes. Yes.
And don't think of, my Saturday and Sunday, I don't work Saturday, or I've never worked or studied Saturday. It's going to change. You have to adapt, and it's temporary, right?
Yeah.
You know it's not forever. It's
Yeah.
a sacrifice you have to make to make your dreams true.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah. It is how much you're willing to sacrifice. That's the question. If I would borrow the words of Winnie, live without regret. So
Oh
you
yes,
have to sacrifice now and use that delayed gratification philosophy. When you sacrifice now, you'll reap greater results later. And when you focus on the thing that you can do well, you can also expect great results from that. How do you envision your life here in Canada, Erica? Like, let's say 5 to 10 years. You're very happy now, you're settled, you're living in a peaceful country and an abundant country, I must say, despite the economic crisis all over the world, we are still in a better place. How do you envision yourself and your life?
Absolutely. Yes. Well, I envision myself like um, in a bigger apartment. I want to get a house. I want to start saving for my retirement. And I just see myself traveling a bit more than I did and getting to know places, but keeping a more simple lifestyle because I think that we don't need much to be happy. And that's what I really realized when I came here, that I don't have to have a lot of things.
Yeah.
I just need my peace of mind and my plants, and simple things make
Thanks.
me happy. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to plant like a simple future for me
Yeah.
and for my family, where I feel safe, where I have the privilege of visiting my family back in my country maybe once or twice every 2 years. And that's what I want for my life. I just want to be happy and, have an income that can, you know, allow me to drink a good wine and have the plants I want. And,
Yes.
just a calm lifestyle for an old lady that I will soon be.
That's wonderful because you have like, simple, not shall I say, simple life. You would just
Yes,
want to have a happy, simple life, no complications. That's wonderful.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, a glass of wine would always help.
Yes. Good food, good wine, good
Yes.
friends. That's all I need.
That's great. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us, Erica. This has been a wonderful conversation. And if there's one thing that you would like to say to yourself in the mirror right now, what would that be?
Oh, yeah, so many things. I'm very grateful every day for everything I have, everything, all the people that I've met, and I'm very proud of myself. I really am, and I just hope to be a good person for everybody that crosses my way, and just be happy and give it back. I think a lot of giving back, a lot, because I think we're so privileged to have the strength to work, to be healthy,
Yeah,
and to have the intellect to build things, to make things happen. That I'm just grateful, and I hope that I can give back to my family and everyone that I meet.
that's wonderful. Yes. And you have every right and reason to be grateful. Thank you so much, Erica. More power to
Thank you,
you.
Cherie.
Yeah. And to
Thank you.
B2RF. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. If you like this episode with Erica Nogueira, please like, subscribe, and share Life Expressions. I'm your host, Charie Ilon.